I'm feeling super nostalgic today. I wanted to kind of give a brief history of one of the oldest McDonald's franchises existing today in the United States. So let me give you the rundown. I have it here on Wikipedia, and it says the oldest McDonald's restaurant that is still in business operation is located on Lakewood Boulevard and Florence Avenue in Downey, California. Let's see, it opened in August 18th, 1953, and is the third McDonald's restaurant to be opened and is the second restaurant franchised by Richard and Maurice McDonald. Let's see, the outlet still retains the original standardized golden arches facade design and is one of Downey's main tourist attractions. Along with its sign, it was deemed eligible for addition to the National Register of Historic Places in 1984, although it was not added at the time because the owner rejected. Okay, so I am from California and I grew up in Downey, California, home of the original McDonald's, the Carpenters, and Rockwell. So let me just go back, way back to the 80s. So in 1983, 84, me and my best friend used to go walk that 2-mile trek from our house, my house, to the McDonald's restaurant there on Lakewood and Florence. I lived on 5th Street, so we did walk the residential streets to get there, and it was called our Saturday adventure. And there was a record store adjacent to the McDonald's. It's in an outdoor strip mall. And at the time, there was, like, I think Pep Boys, a grocery store, Food King, I think was the name, and Middle Earth Records. Now, Middle Earth Records was unlike any other record store. It was independently owned, privately owned. It wasn't like a Tower Records or Licorice Pizza. It was unique and different. It sold everything. It sold records, posters, magazines, old magazines from the 50s and 60s. You could find cassettes, 8-tracks, LPs, 45s, even 78s. So we would go there and every Saturday, and I would save my allowance money. I got $50 a month in allowance. And at the time in 83, 84, let's see, we would have been in 9th grade. And we would, on that summer, we would, you know, walk down there and take our allowance money and go buy a cheeseburger, a small French fry, and a drink. And it was probably like $2.50 for all of that. And the first thing we would do is walk past Middle Earth and go to McDonald's and order our food and then eat it there, because they had little tables that you could sit at. And then once we were done eating, we would walk 3 stores down, and go into Middle Earth Records and look at all of the latest records and magazines that came out. Rick Springfield, Duran Duran, the Go-Go's, Prince, Spandau Ballet, gosh, just Phil Collins, all of the latest releases, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. But they also had a vintage section, and we would go look at the old magazines from London, the Mercy Beat magazines, and see all of the Beatle posters and interviews. There were Elvis magazines. There were like up to the minute magazines, Hit Parader, Rolling Stone, things like that. We would just be looking through everything and spend all our time there. As I tell you, I was raised in the music scene, the rock and roll scene there in Los Angeles. And that's kind of like the early roots of that. My dad raised me in rock. My dad was the first teenage generation, and he came to California in 1962. And he got really involved in music and going to concerts. And then when I was born, I would listen to the things that he was listening to. He would point out, you know, Three Dog Night, the Carpenters, gosh, all of the artists that were playing at the time, Jim Croce, and of course Elvis was the #1 staple in our house. And so the very first roots of my independent journey on this musical life that I had was going to Middle Earth Records and really learning and studying from the current magazines and thumbing through all of the old records, Righteous Brothers, Peter Frampton, the Rolling Stones, Mamas and the Papas, everything, Jimi Hendrix, the Doors. We would go and look at all the posters. We would buy posters. I remember later my best friend got a John Bon Jovi poster, and he had like a vest on and his hairy chest and all the hair, and she put it right above her bed. And I was usually, you know, buying Beatle posters, and I don't know, it was such a fun time. It was just, we were getting into the history and even the local history, because living literally 15 miles from Hollywood, and all of those clubs, the Rainbow, the Whiskey, Gazzari's, the Troubadour, you know, that's where all the local bands got their start. Of course, the Doors and the Yardbirds, and then later in the 80s, it was the heavy metal bands like Motley Crue and Rat and Stryper and Guns N' Roses. And, you know, we were just starting this journey. And I remember McDonald's being like the staple for Saturday. And then when we got older and were able to drive, we were still going to McDonald's. So it's just so interesting to me. And so the last time that I went in the spring last year to, you know, back home, we stopped by McDonald's, and I have some video footage that I'd like to share with you. There's a little outdoor area that they have this time capsule of articles, newspaper clippings, all of the old cups and plates and menus, the uniforms that the people used to wear that worked the McDonald's checkout, and the cooks, and all of the characters like the Hamburglar and Mac the Knife and all this kind of stuff. So we are going to go down memory lane and just take a look at this. I have some video. I think I may have put it in a reel. I'm not sure if I could. It's not landscape, it's vertical. So I may link it below, or I may include it here. I'm not sure. But we're going to look at some of the more key parts of the time capsule, the little museum that's out front. Now, it was raining that day, but I did get some good pictures, a little bit of video of the original location and the location that I grew up going to every Saturday. And I mean every Saturday for that 3-month summer break from about, I would say, 8th grade on to about 10th grade. So it was about a 2 to 3 year summer, 3 summers that I would go and frequent this McDonald's. And that doesn't mean I didn't go any other time, but that was an every Saturday occurrence. It was so much fun. We felt independent, and it was good food too. It was real food. It was good food back then. It tasted great, and now it's junk, but good memories, fun times, and I wanted to share McDonald's with you.